Welcome back, guys. Classic Culture again. Today, it's going to be myself and our amazing co-host, John Lofthouse.
We're all
Doing a lot of
alone.
stuff.
There's no one here to deride me.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit I have to put up with, guys. So get used to this shit. Imagine that backstage when everyone's so stressed and this guy comes in singing like that.
That's my game plan.
Yeah.
Sing. I just sing because I'm happy backstage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the guys that I think, steps backstage smiling. I don't eye anyone up or anything. I just do my own thing. But obviously, I bother a lot of people, apparently.
You butter a lot of people.
I bother a lot of people.
Bother. I thought you said you butter a lot of people, as in like you tell people they're awesome when they're really not.
There's a reason why I got that nickname, the Dictator.
Why?
Because I never compliment anyone, and a lot of people who used to train with me, or I actually train under my supervision, don't end up finishing the workouts. So it kind of combination with the beard, obviously. Yeah. And I look like Borat, apparently. So.
No, you don't look like Borat. You look like the Dictator.
Well, Borat with a beard.
Yeah. I haven't got a nickname yet, but I don't think you can choose your own nickname either. That makes you a bit.
No, someone needs to put it for you, because I was given that in the gym before anything, and it kind of went fine,
Yeah.
It was nice to hear it from someone else.
You're looking wide today, brother.
Not really. I mean, listen, there's hardly any training going, so we're trying to wing training sessions here and there, but it's not the same.
How's it coming along?
It's okay. I mean, remember we spoke about me trying to do Alicante with you.
Yeah.
And it just didn't add up, me coming out of COVID and
yeah.
Getting in that super condition. I think I would have come out a bit short.
Yeah.
Again. I mean, obviously I spoke to you about it and you were like, listen, let's push it till next year. But then obviously I had a bit more, a few other people telling me, give it time. And there's a nice announcement coming soon, but I can't really say it because this video is going to come before, the time of it.
Nice.
So
I think if
something nice.
I think you could have got there, but you just would have maybe lose that pop to your physique. You know what we spoke about when guys are sort of have a little bit too much body fat in the off season, they go and start their prep, and then they have to push that bit too hard, to get to the end result, and then they just lose that pop. You lose the pop in the roundness in your delts, the upper pecs. You lose your lower lats, sweep on your quads. They're the sort of things that start going.
Absolutely, and
chest is the big one that goes.
I think again. I mean, at this stage, we want to settle in our home gyms as well, where you have your own kind of space to train. And
it's your escape, isn't it? You want to be in your escape.
We don't have that now. We were training in garages and stuff, so it's kind of wiser. It's different for you, because you have a location that you train at, and you've got the the Olympia to qualify for, so it's kind of different for you. And I mean, even now, John, I think people speaking a lot about the gym's reopening on the 25th. What do you think the setup's going to be like now?
The setup?
Yeah.
Well, I know a few gym owners, so I know the setup's basically going to be limited capacity. Firstly, I think gyms will ultimately set their own protocols, but from what I know, it will be like limited capacity. And it would just be like, one way in, one way out of the gym, which isn't really going to hinder, you being in the gym that much. It's not really going to make a big difference. They're going to have to make sure the equipment's a little bit more spread out. You're going to have to wipe down the kit before and after use. It's just that I reckon the gyms will just leave it down to your responsibility, and, whether it'll be their choice to put consequences in place if they catch you not doing it. It's just going to be a matter of everyone just respecting each other, you know, because although you might not, or you might feel comfortable, you know, bumping each other and sort of being friendly with everyone, that's okay. It's your choice. But you're going to have to respect everybody that, you know, doesn't feel comfortable. They might feel a bit anxious for whatever reason. Everyone's different, man. Everyone comes to this shit different. So I think you're just going to have to be in the gym and just be a little bit more respectful of everyone's space, you know, keep things clean. But I don't think nothing majorly different is going to be evident in gyms reopening other than limited capacity.
The thing is, I have a friend in the United States who owns a gym. And the setup that he has is that he's made the whole gym a one-way system.
Yeah.
So if you're doing, let's say, chest, and then parallel to that,
the legs, entire gym.
So you need to go around.
Oh, okay.
And there's no backwards. You don't go back. You go that way. So it's everyone going the in, like, let's say, one way.
That's pretty difficult though, isn't it? Like, what if you want to start with a machine that's at the end of the one-way system?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
walk back in.
or what he's done as well is that he's taped some of the equipment, piece of equipment together. Like, he puts a ribbon between, you know, the red and white ones.
Yeah.
He puts it between them. So there are certain areas you can't cross, but then you're just gonna have to go around.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's not more of a one-way system, but there are ways that are closed.
Keep herding you.
Yeah, kind of in that way. It might work. And then the same thing, what he's done, he's very, very smart, actually. And I've actually spoken to the owner of our gym here. It may help him in terms of business because, you know, a lot of people are going to come in on a daily basis to pay and walk in. You don't know these people, so obviously you have to take their details down.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it's going to be now.
Yeah.
But in the same time, it's not creating a lot of cash for the gym.
Yeah.
So they've made it memberships only.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So they have your full details.
Yeah.
And obviously you're gonna know if there's an undercover, you know, here.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's creating more business, you know, as in cash for the business.
Yeah.
Instead of a tenner, then no, you're actually doing, you know, 45 pounds per month.
Yeah.
And it renews everyone's memberships as well. So
yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult for every business, isn't it? I know for my business, there's obviously a drop off in memberships, but they'll get that back. It'll bounce back. Everybody, you know, a lot of people were sort of continuing to pay during the lockdown, you know, to support their gyms, but then some people can't afford it. So everybody will, you know, most people will come back. Some people will use it as an opportunity to maybe look for a new gym. But at the same time, you've got other opportunities from new people coming in. So I don't think it'll be that bad. You know, maybe it's going to take, you know, maybe it'll probably take a year to financially for the gyms to get back on track. But I don't think it's going to.
Do you think we're going to have to wear masks from now on?
In the UK?
Yeah.
Nah. In the UK, I think they're just going to say it's your choice. I know. I see Darren Farrell, a friend in, you know, obviously him as well in Dubai. They're wearing masks. It looks like everyone's wearing masks in the pictures, like in the background. So I'd assume that in Dubai, I mean, they're a lot more stricter in places like that anyway. So they're probably saying about masks. But I reckon here in the UK, I reckon the gyms will probably have to provide masks. But I think it would just be down to your discretion whether you want to or not. Unless loads of people start complaining about it. That's the problem.
I think some of the gyms are going to take advantage of that and actually start selling masks and telling people to have it between sets.
Yeah, why not?
Or money. And that's another way of making money.
Yeah, money's money at the end of the day. It's a business, you know. But, you know, we'll see. At the end of the day, it's all freaking frugal. It doesn't really matter, does it? Gyms are opening and everyone can get back on doing their thing, man. Get back training. So it'd be good to see some atmosphere in the gyms and stuff, man.
Do you think everyone will be ready for any kind of show, you know, from the 25th? Let's put it down as legally we're allowed to train from the 25th. Would anyone get ready for a show from that point?
Well, say if they had like 12 weeks?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to depend.
12 weeks considering they've been sitting down at home for the past 6 months.
Well, if you took it from a standpoint that they haven't been training at all, let's take someone who hasn't been training at all, then it's going to be
band work at home.
Band work, yeah, okay. So basically nothing. Then it's going to be a case of, well, it's going to be a case of how long has that person trained for previously, you know, because someone like myself trained for a lot, and yourself trained for a long time. You know, even if I hadn't trained for 4 months and then I got to the end of the lockdown and there was a possibility of doing a 12-week prep into a show with the help of some supplements,
yeah,
I think I could bounce back. But a beginner, you know, where you're trying to make lots of improvements and maybe it's your first show, maybe not, you know, maybe it would be a wise idea, wise decision to push it back, you know. But obviously if you've got a good home set up, then, you know, it doesn't make a difference, does it? You've been training. But yeah, I think it will be person dependent. Some people can bounce back very quick. Some people need the time, you know, but maybe it would be wise to maybe just wait till next year. It's going to depend on your end goal, right? Because in the UK, they're doing British finals and stuff, but it's no disrespect to anyone, and I think all the competitors know this. It's not really a British finals. It's just a competition, you know, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know, they're calling it British finals. I think really they're just trying to put on, you know, a lot of these federations just trying to put on shows just to keep everyone happy because people want to compete, which is cool. So you know, somebody like myself, you know, I'm trying to get to the Olympia. There's still an opportunity of me getting that. So fuck yeah, I'm going to compete. Because a lot of people were saying in the beginning, shut this year down. It's stupid to compete. You know, there's no point. But when you're in a position like I am at the minute, when it's your first year, you know, we've spoke about this extensively. When it's your first year, you're trying to get your face out there. You're trying to make something of yourself.
Yeah, of course.
You need to get out there because
you have access to a gym.
You're on your pro card and effectively the clock starts ticking. I don't care what no one says. Age is a factor at some point, you know. So the years I have as a pro, I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to take the only way I would take a year off if I felt like, well, obviously if I felt like I actually needed to, you know, but I'm pretty sure I feel like I can progress up to where I need to progress without taking a year off. You know, why wait?
As long as you feel fresh and as long as your bloods come out, you know, nice and clear, and to be honest with you, if I were you, I mean, if you would to ask me, I would have said it's stupid not to compete for you, because obviously you had a setup of a gym that you had access to. You stayed training. Your food intake was regimented in a way where you were kind of, you know, getting ready for a show. Yeah. So you were doing the same thing. So I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
I've had the best 4 months. I've been really fortunate.
So really... you've worked on a good off season, and it's all about opportunity, right? If you're taking the opportunity at the moment to compete, and if someone comes in short, that's not your problem. Sorry, you know, like I did what I had to do. Yeah. So take advantage of it. Maybe it is a way to go fresh to the Olympia. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't doubt that it may be an easier route now at the minute, you know, because I may have the advantage on people, and there's maybe going to be a lot of people who are going to compete that are not going to compete now. So I understand that maybe the path is, like you said, a little bit clearer for me to get to the Olympia this year. But I have no doubt that if I qualify this year, I will qualify next year. You know, I have no doubt it will be a fluke, despite if anybody says it. I mean, we'll see what happens. You know, I've got to win it at the end of the day. If I don't even get anything but first place, I'm not going to the Olympia, and I'm not going to compete again, because if I'm not good enough to win the Spanish pro show, then I'm not good enough to win probably any of them. I'm not saying that the Spanish is the shit show, but it's a lower tier show. You know, the American pro show.
It's a qualifier.
Yeah, the American pro qualifiers are going to be significantly, not pro qualifier, Olympia qualifiers are going to be significantly harder. So, you know, we'll see.
No, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. There are harder shows. I mean, I know, like you.
And I'm a realist. I'm not ready for them shows. I know that.
No, it's not even. I mean, I wouldn't say you're not ready. I think you're. As I said, there's a reason why it's called a rookie year. You know, a rookie year means that you're a beginner at that, you know, at that level, which is okay. You know, we're all going to be there.
Tadpole in a shark tank.
Yeah, but you know, but then you will grow into another shark again, you know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would say, oh, you know, like, oh, you just qualified in let's say, you know, Alicante, you know, like this is a really small show. It's like, yeah, I did fine, you know. We're not saying it's not, but that's the opportunity I took because of the situation I am in at the moment. But at the same time, there are bigger shows. I mean, New York Pro, that is a huge show.
Man. Yeah, I'm not going for that for my first show. I'm not doing that. No way, not yet. I mean, I would do an American pro show, probably not New York, but I would be more than happy to go to America to do my first pro show. But obviously, you know, I've got certain obstacles that I've got to overcome yet, which are being worked through. The American embassy is actually open now. I've just found out. My girlfriend works in conjunction with, well, not in conjunction with the American embassy, but they're one of her clients. She's a recruiter, and she told me that they're open. So I'm going to be able to go down to the American embassy and sort my visa out. So if Vegas happens in December, I can actually go.
Let's hope they don't do a Heidi Chupan on you.
Yeah. I don't think they will. It's a long time ago, the incident that happened. You know, I'm old enough.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
So I have a little game that I wanted to play here for the viewers to see, and it'll be good to get your sort of insight on what's happening when the class, because it is classic culture, guys. We want to talk about classic bodybuilding. All right, we're in that category. We want to dedicate time, as John suggested, for us to speak about classic physique or the classic division before we speak about everything else. But today it's a starter, so it's a tester for us. I'm gonna actually mention names, and I want you to pick a body part that you like. All right, like something that would pop out for you. It's like, you know what, he's got good arms, or he's got, you know, amazing sweep. You know?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. I hope you remember those athletes, because it's embarrassing if we don't.
I hope you've chosen top classic.
Well, there's a guy who competed at the 212. He's from Sweden.
I'm not going to know that.
He's Iraqi Swedish. His name is Ahmed Ahmed. I think he got prepped by Dave Palumbo.
Okay.
All right. That guy, I was sure that you wouldn't know.
No. Yes, I
don't know. 212 Olympia, so you probably weren't really into that. But I'm going to give you a couple of names here. Let's go through a couple of names. All right. Because some of them I don't even know.
Then why are you going to ask me? Because I'm not going to fucking know. I barely follow.
I'll give you the top guys. All right. Let's start with Brian Ansley.
Ooh. Biceps. He's got some peaky motherfucking biceps. But to be fair, he's got great physique. He's got phenomenal physique that you don't ever really hone in on him. But if you check him out, he's got some peaky motherfucking biceps, man. Look great from the rear as well.
Kian Pearson.
His vacuum. His taper, his torso taper down into that vacuum. The way his waist inserts into his hips or whatever. I'd love to have that.
I think he's the best we have at the moment. I'm not gonna lie.
You know? Is he doing classic still?
I actually don't know. Believe it or not, he's my teammate in the same sponsorship, and we never spoke like personally. So
he's got an unbelievable physique and the potential to be the best, but you know, if he was the best, he'd be Mr. Olympia. So I'm not sure that he's the best yet.
I think he brought at his best, he could be Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, I never like to say that though, because people would say, "Oh, at his best," but some people never bring their best.
That's what I mean. I mean, maybe you have a point here, which is
I don't like that argument, because what about Big Ramy? Big Ramy's if he comes at his best for his whole career, well, he hasn't. You know.
Well, he did come at his best, placing second.
Well, yeah.
So this is the best that we've seen. No, but I mean, I agree with you. I mean, what we witness is different from what we wish.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I just personally only like to judge bodybuilders off of what they've done.
yeah.
I wouldn't disrespect guys like Brian Ainsley and Christopher Bumstead by saying Keon's the best.
Oh,
You know?
fair enough. Fair enough.
One,
You've
because
got
I
a
don't
point.
actually think he is the best, but two, just because it wouldn't feel right, you know? Because he hasn't won
Right.
any. I mean, he won the New York Pro, isn't he? So,
George Peterson.
is it bad to say back? It's obvious, isn't it? Is that back? I mean, I don't really like, from the waist down, I don't really like his physique. From the front, he's a bit like trappy to me.
Yeah.
Just something a bit off, but he's obviously got a phenomenal back.
Do you think he actually has the ultimate classic physique though?
No. But it's not that, again, it goes back to that conversation of what is a classic physique. It's like, well, what's a good bodybuilder? It's the same thing. So I just don't think he's got his proportions. His flow is just off for me. Classic or open, whatever. His flow is off for me. You know,
That's a good question here. I have. Do you think it's because of the weight restriction? He's not being able to come in, let's say, full and a bit more relaxed. You feel like his body is like stressed when he's on stage, even though it looks amazing. The muscularity on this guy is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Unbelievable.
But as in, could he put on an extra 10 pounds of muscle and he would still look aesthetically nice, but in the open?
Would you think he would look better than he does now?
Yeah, I think so. Because if he fills out his legs,
it's his legs. I've got hiccups. He's got to turn up. Well, you know what we need? I'm just interjecting on our podcast here. This is a business talk. We need to learn how to screen share, but to the point where we're still in the picture. Because I don't know if I screen share and get pictures up of him, if we're going to disappear or if it's going to stop talking. Should we just try it?
Yeah, go on. If our listeners start swearing at us, then I'll blame you. But
it says share here. So if I just share,
yeah, we'll go, but we'll start. People can hear us, I guess.
Yeah, people should be able to hear us, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it. We're just gonna try it.
Yeah, right. Go on.
Desktop. Share. Can I hear you?
Yeah. Oh, we're on the side now, I think.
Oh, we're on the side?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. That's what I wanted. I can't see us on the side, but I'm going to trust you. Right, let's go. This is a nice visual experience for our, what's his name? George DeBull.
George, yeah, there you are. That's the first guy.
So, look, incredible back, man.
Unbelievable back.
I mean, this guy's got incredible physique. I don't doubt it. You know?
But here, you see here in the front lat spread, I would like, for me, this is not the ultimate physique that I would like to see in this division.
Well, it's a great physique nonetheless, but I want to look at his physique like on stage. I want to see a stage shot because that's where it's all well and good taking pictures. It's things like this. When I look at this, to me, the traps, it's all just a bit too top heavy. Even though he's got phenomenal legs, I don't know. I think it's the traps that throw it off for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Do you know sometimes shoulders kind of overtake?
This is it. He's got turn up thighs. He doesn't have that. He's got like Brandon Curry thighs. He doesn't have that thickness in the VMO and the lower part of his outer sweep. Yes. And the fact, and he's so minute, but coupled with the fact that his calves don't match his arms either, and his traps are ever so slightly a little bit overwhelming, it kind of just makes for a physique that doesn't flow the way I'd like it to.
I agree with you. I think he could have had a smaller waist, but I think he's done so much for his back to get that thick, and it obviously
his back is incredible.
The size of his waist, as you can see, you know, when we say waist, obviously the bone doesn't change, guys. It's the muscles around the waist.
Yeah. I'm trying to find some more sort of it's stage shots that I like looking at. I don't like comparing people on. Yeah, like this, like a shot like this, coupled with the fact that underneath, you know, he hasn't got that thickness on the lower thigh. It's just a bit all too, I don't know, it just don't look right for me. Just doesn't have that nice flow.
Do you know when you look at someone on stage like that? I kind of imagine how he trains straight away. Does that happen to you?
How do you think? I'm going to stop share. How do you think?
Like for example, if his traps are overpowering, I would always think that his pulls are always towards the trap, for example. A lot of the pushing he does using his shoulders more than his chest.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I kind of imagine that straight away.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? Maybe it's just Luke Sandow had huge traps and he never trained them. You know, maybe it's just something that just freaking popped.
Yeah, but it still looks different. I don't know why.
I don't know.
There's something that looks different. I don't know.
Who's next? Yeah, there's just something about the overall. You look at his physique, great, but when you look at the overall picture of his physique on stage against everybody else, it's just something that don't flow right. And that's it, really.
Arash Rabar.
Chest. Great chest.
He's got a good bicep as well, but I think his chest is the thing that stands out.
Has he got good biceps as well?
Yeah, he's got beautiful hamstrings and tines. You know, like.
Has he got good hamstrings? I see. I can't think of people until I look at him. I know he's got a great chest. Yeah, he's got a good physique. I think I'll beat him in a couple of years. I always say in a couple of years. Not really yet. I don't think his hamstrings are that mad.
There's a picture from the back in a hotel.
His hamstrings are not that mad.
No, when he turns around, I don't know. For some reason, some people can't do that side hang. I think he's one of them that tenses it
He's got some nice. But he's only got nice outer separation of the main muscles of the hamstring. He doesn't have that deep grainy effect throughout the whole hamstring. Well, he doesn't in that shot anyway.
Well, yeah.
Or in this shot. A little bit more in this shot. You know when it's grainy all the way through?
Yeah. The Phil Heath when he points it out.
Yeah. But he's got a phenomenal chest. In his side tricep, he always bangs out side triceps. Yeah, phenomenal chest development, man.
I think he's well soft here though in that picture.
You think he's a bit soft?
Yeah.
Think his legs look tired.
Yeah, I think that's what happens when people start relying on diuretics a little bit.
Yeah.
And the legs kind of feel soft and they smoothen out and the whole physique smoothens out.
Yeah.
I think he's figured it out, you know, but I think he just needs to accept the fact that he doesn't look like a classic guy. That's in my opinion.
I had this conversation. I actually done a podcast last night, man. Somebody, a couple of lads, Danny and Jamie. I'm going to feel bad if I've got their names wrong. Done a podcast with them, and I was talking about, you know, what makes a classic physique or sort of thing. And it's like in my head, I still think anybody could be classic, because at the end of the day, it's like, what does classic even mean? You know, it's just the guys that used to compete back in the 70s and 80s. That's what we're trying to rely on. But it's like, I'm sure back in the 70s and 80s, there was loads of guys that would compete that you didn't see, that probably looked nowhere near as good as the guys that we think of when we think of classic. If you saw them, you'd probably say, well, they're not classic. It's like, well, are they not classic, or are they just not really as good a bodybuilder as the guys at the top, you know? Because he doesn't have that crazy lat width, the crazy quad sweep. His physique doesn't make that crazy V tape, you know? So I just argue the question, is it, well, he's not classic, or is it just, well, he's just not as good as the others?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just my question. Maybe I'm wrong. But
no, you're not wrong at all, because I think in every era, in any sport, I mean, it does evolve to some extent. I mean, if you look at the guys played football in the 70s, they some of them actually were a bit overweight. You know, you know, and you look at players today like Cristiano Ronaldo, the guy looks like a men's physique competitor, you know, like, you know, things have changed in a way.
Not quite. I wouldn't go as far as say Ronaldo looks like a men's physique competitor.
I don't like men's physique.
Come on.
Let me compare him to men's physique. Not classic though. Right, I have another name.
Come on now. All right, well.
Danny Younan.
I haven't looked his physique much. Can I look at him and then pick a body part?
Yeah, of course.
I know who he is. Plus, I'm enjoying this screen share thing, man. We should do this more often. We can slag people off. No, we're not about that. See, look, I don't know what's his.
I think it's hold on. It's DANI.
DANI.
And then Younan is YO.
I got him. I know he's got a good physique. He's got a lot of muscle. I know that. I know his profile picture is definitely photoshopped. I know that. That's not fucking real. Look at him. He looks like Phil Heath.
Well, maybe he's in an off season, and obviously.
No, fuck off. He's in condition. That's freaking photoshopped to fuck. His legs are not that great from the rear. He's got huge pussy gap there.
It's probably sometimes the way they stand, man.
Maybe, yeah, because I get that sometimes. Let's get a good. What is he, a men's physique competitor or what?
No, he's a classic.
He should do men's physique. All right, let's have a look at some of these. Good, decent vacuum. He's got decent quads.
Very decent quads.
Decent quads. He's got a good physique. He's got a well-rounded physique, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, bro. This is a sort of a physique that could go far, you know.
I think because he beat Arash in the qualifier, and then Arash came back and beat him in the following show, which didn't make sense to me at all because there was a week difference in between.
I can't pick out a singular body part that I'd say.
Is there anything that catches your eye, for example?
He's got decent quads, but I'm not going to say they're overwhelming. They're not like overwhelmingly crazy. I mean, they're just in proportion. I mean, again, he's got a great fucking chest. Seems like all these guys got great chests. The only thing that I haven't got, and calves. I don't have calves.
Yeah.
He hasn't got a crazy back. You know, it's decent from the back. But on his lat spread, it's not that crazy. His chest is good. His quads are great. He's got a good V-tape. I mean, can I just say quads?
Yeah,
I think he has a physique that when I look at him, there's nothing that I say stands out. But
he looks good.
Put together, looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
So really, basically, I'm just saying every body part is pretty good. I haven't really looked at him from the back. Every body part's good on him, really.
I never knew we had a back lat spread. I haven't done that.
No, we don't. We don't. That's he's doing that like in a routine.
I think the introduction.
Yeah, you see these pictures. Other than this one, that lat spread is a posing routine. All these other shots, he's transitioning into his rear double.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't pick out a body part. I'm gonna say he's pretty complete. I mean, he's got a good chest. I'm not gonna say quads actually because I don't think they're not crazy.
No, they're big. But I don't necessarily like the flow of his quads.
No, his quads don't have as good a flow. I'm gonna say nothing stands out, but a very good bodybuilder. Very good bodybuilder.
Chris Bumstead.
Vacuum.
That was easy.
Yeah, well, it's just his vacuum and his overall stature that makes him win, doesn't it? Because if you break him down, like his arms are not amazing. But more mainly just biceps. Let's just say biceps are not amazing. His quads are good, but the shape of his quads are not great. They're not thick from top to bottom either. But at the end of the day, when you take the picture of the guy, the only thing that matters, it's all well, I know we're playing a game here, but just sort of sidetracking, the only thing that matters is when you take the picture of the guy, what does it look like as a whole? And that's what wins shows. You know, you can break body parts down all day long, but it doesn't matter. People break me down, say I haven't got, calves, or my chest is not, on the same sort of scale as some of the other guys. But when you take a picture of me and you put me on stage against some of the other guys in the UK, I've managed to come off trumps. I think it's what it looks like as a picture, and that's where classic really comes into its own. You have to really be training your physique in conjunction with what does that picture look like, not just train to grow for mass and just, you know.
Absolutely. The thing is, a lot of people stop training, you know, the weaker body parts. So I'll just train my weaker body part alongside with the other, you know, body parts, and I'll just grow as a whole. And I hear a lot of people saying, you know, you grow big forearms when you deadlift. What, guys? You know, I agree to a little, you know, like a 2% sort of agreement, but the rest, if you don't actually work that muscle the way you work the you know, the muscles you like, you know, it's never going to be the same.
Unless you've got sort of genetics just for it, then you need to train it. I was watching Arnie. I was watching Twins the other night, man. The calves on that motherfucker, bro. Arnie had some calves, man. Some beastie calves. He basically spends the whole film in like white pull-up socks and Converse, and his calves are just like, bah! It's like huge, man, huge.
And a lot of people used to criticize him for not having the, you know, the lower part of his body.
Yeah, and then he started smashing it up. But it's like the size of his calves, and obviously his quads, everybody says weren't crazy, but they were in proportion with his calves. I think, you know, if you'd gone back in time and be able to see him at his best, you'd see how big he really was, you know. There's this bodybuilder that just came up recently that Nick Strength and Power was talking about somewhere in, I don't know, maybe like Russia, Soviet country, and going crazy, going off that he's got 23-inch arms. I'm like, but didn't Arnie have like 22, 23-inch arms back then?
Yeah.
It's like, and now everyone's going crazy because he's got 23-inch arms or he's huge. And it's like, yeah, but he's like, he's got 23-inch arms, but everything else just looks bigger as well, where Arnie looks like slender with it and 23-inch arms. I just sometimes feel like there's something, I just think things are just being rushed. But then again, Arnie was young, so I don't know.
Look, let's I think it's very important that we address this. People think, okay, you know, there are guys who are very young in the industry, like yourself, of course. I've seen so many juniors, all right, that have phenomenal physiques. And there was a guy who I want to mention here, actually. I hope we can bring him over one day on the podcast. He's a really cool guy. His name is Ryan Crowley.
Yeah, I know Ryan, not personally, but I know Ryan Crowley.
And the guy is probably 24 years old now, and he does super heavyweight. And the guy actually looks amazing, like not only size-wise, but conditioning as well.
Yeah.
So for him to bring that kind of conditioning and keep that size, he must have some sort of genetics. So we need to address that. Yes, guys, genetics do play a part, you know, play a big part. So Arnold was genetically gifted, you know, plus his hard work, plus his mindset, you know, and that's the same with Phil Heath. Phil Heath grew quite quick as well.
Yeah.
You know? So it's not like, I don't want people to sit down here and say, okay, you know, I'm going to train for 3 months and then think, let me do a show. It doesn't work like that.
No. I think mindset is a huge piece of that pie. You know, when you're looking at what makes a champ, mindset is huge for me. I try and sort of, what's the word, hammer mindset into a lot of my clients all the time, because it's all well and good having the information to get shredded, the information to build muscle, and the information to do this and that. But ultimately, without the mindset behind it, enabling you to be consistent and actually carry out those processes, don't mean shit, you know. I think a lot of people will do better by being coached mindset rather than nutrition and training, you know.
Okay, here, you know, I could add something to what you're saying. I think some people do need coaching, not because they like genetics.
Don't need coaching.
Sorry?
I didn't say people don't need coaching.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I'm just adding to this.
Sorry,
yeah, I'm just adding to this. No, I'm not disputing your statement. But I think people do need coaching, and those kind of people are not less gifted from others. But maybe a lot of people like to have a certain routine where they get told what to do and they just follow.
Yeah.
And I'm that kind of guy. Yeah. I might be able to get myself ready, but I always get someone in the last 4 weeks to keep an eye on me. Just at that point, I'm like gone. My brain is just somewhere else. So I need someone to send me some text for me to put on the wall and follow. But a lot of people, go around and say, well, he's with this coach, that's why he looks that way. Guys, if you lack the discipline, it's over. It's over. No matter what I get you, I could get you the best gurus in the world. If you're not disciplined, forget it.
Man, discipline and consistency, or the discipline of consistency. Let's say the discipline of consistency is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the rule book of bodybuilding.
I think this is a good point. It's I'm going to use that phrase quite a lot now. So guys, whoever is watching this phrase belongs to him. It's copyright.
We just copyrighted that shit. The discipline of consistency, copyrighted by Classic Culture, motherfuckers. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Well, there you are. It's like.
But that's it.
Have you ever read the encyclopedia for Arnold's encyclopedia?
I'm coming back. Now that is a true classic competitor. You want the Encyclopedia of Arnold? I got you, man. This is it.
I've got mine too,
mate. I've read through this. Probably, I'm going to be honest, probably not. I haven't read every word. Some of it's just like a bit of a picture book, but it's like a reference. And I still look at this today. I still look at this today, man.
It's a good purchase, man.
Because obviously it gets updated, right? So this is the newest updated version. I'm not sure if they're still updating it. They're probably not now, but this is the latest one that they ever done. It's got Lee Priest and everything like that in it. And it's awesome. For a beginner, amazing. Because what this actually does is actually shows you every single exercise you could think of. Well, there's more. But this shows you so many exercises. Some of the information's a bit like, but it gives you a great foundation, man. And he's got lots of information in there on not just exercises, but competing and the mental side of things of competing and getting ready for stage day and all these sorts of stuff. It's cool. It's a good book.
I'm happy we touched up on that because we guys, we need to realize we're not advertising anything for anyone. We don't get paid shit for this.
No.
All right.
No.
So we're just giving you what we've done. Especially John, because John, for me, the way I'll say it out here, the guy put a goal and he managed to get it in the correct timing of how he's imagined it. I've done that myself, but I never actually got to the goal yet. So
you'll get there, man. You'll get there.
No, it'll happen. It'll happen. I think it was just a matter of being a little bit unlucky with surgeries and everything, but at some point it'll happen. But it's just the reason why I chose to do this podcast, guys, and John probably doesn't even know about this. It's the admiration of a new competitor with this kind of mentality, this kind of mindset, and this kind of passion towards the sport. And again, I don't like calling it sport. It's an art form /sport, and that's what it's an art, man, and for someone that young to understand how this art works was very fascinating for me. And that's one of the reasons that I start doing this podcast with you. So
I feel like we're having a moment.
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to say that because a lot of people are going to say, why don't you hold hands, you motherfuckers?
I appreciate it, man. No, I appreciate it.
John, I had a couple of people asking me a couple of times, and it'll probably be the best time for us to answer this today. Okay?
Yeah.
So, for example, someone sat down, decided to say, you know what, I actually want to build a physique now, and in the future, I want to compete. It's in my head. I want to compete. What's the first thing that you can advise them to do?
What? Never stepped in a gym at all?
No, he trains probably like at home, 16-year-old, not allowed in the gym yet, but now his parents got him a membership. He said, you know what? I want to become a bodybuilder.
The first, I can only speak from truth. And the first thing that if I look back in how many years I've done bodybuilding, the first thing that I kind of did is throw myself into the history of bodybuilding. It was nothing to do with training, nutrition. I didn't want to learn any of that. And no one told me to do this. It was just kind of instinctive. I just wanted to know the history of bodybuilding. I wanted to know where it came from. I wanted to know why it was what it was. I wanted to know about, the guys, the old guys, the pioneers of the sport, and how it's developed, and who's the top guys now, and everything like that. I wanted to know the sport or the passion, or whatever you want to call it. I wanted to know bodybuilding. I wanted to know what makes a good bodybuilder tick. What makes a good bodybuilder visually, like mentally, everything. I kind of delved into that kind of side of things. I didn't really look into the side of training that much in the beginning. I was kind of making my own way through stuff with friends in the gym. I was kind of just enjoying it, I didn't know nothing about food, but I saw guys eating the way they did, Jay Cutler and stuff like that. And that's where I started, man. I wanted to know what was the life of a bodybuilder. If you want to become a pro bodybuilder, you don't know what you're getting into. And that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know what comes with being a pro bodybuilder. What's the lifestyle like? Like, what can be, what comes from this? And then once I'd done that, I was enveloped by it, man. And then everything else came, then I started looking more into training and paying people to train me, and, all over the place, and paying people to pose with, before I'd competed on the training side of things, not posing, but on the training side of things, before I'd ever competed, I was paying people to teach me different things and all sorts of stuff, PTs in the local gyms in my area, Luke Sandow, other people in other gyms up and down the UK, all sorts of stuff, man. But yeah.
I see what you're, what you're trying to, put across.
It's a different approach to, that probably is not the answer that most people would tell you what would be the first thing you do.
Yeah.
But that is the first thing I would do because from that, you start developing this mindset and this love for, and energy and passion for what you're trying to achieve. And then everything else comes, So that is my answer. That's what I would do.
Thing is, we've all heard stories of how bodybuilders ever started. Some of them, like Ronnie Coleman, wanted to train because he had a free membership. It's very simple. And some people wanted to train because his friend tagged him along.
Yeah.
It's like his friend got a membership. You know what? Let me go and try it out. And then he turns out to be the pro bodybuilder, and his friend, probably ends up somewhere else.
Yeah.
So there are different stories for each one of you guys. And I think mainly, and my advice here, John gave you exactly what he thinks. I'll tell you what I think. I think start reading. Start reading, man.
Yeah.
And as going back to the history, fair enough, that's
really similar to what I'm saying. Just delve in the world rather than worrying about all the other shit.
I think it's very important, guys, that you block your ears too, because when you're down in a gym, especially a bodybuilder's gym, you're going to hear a lot of shit from other people, like either criticism about your physique of what you're doing, and at the same time you'll hear a lot of people talking about steroids, and obviously it's something very common in this industry, unfortunately. So just block your ears. And if you have one person you can listen to, just listen to that one person.
Yeah.
Put your trust in him, but make sure you choose that right person. You don't want to listen to, whoever is down the gym.
Yeah.
Just
if they're
make
credible.
sure that,
if they're credible, do your research on the person. So don't listen to no shit that's coming out of my mouth. The first guy I ever opened myself to, not become vulnerable to, that's a bit fucking deep. But the first person I really let teach me was Luke. Up until that point, I took everything on board that everyone had to say, but I made my own decisions. I'd done my own research, made my own decisions, made my own way to get to that point. But then when Luke came along, I was like, this is a credible guy, you know. This is, you know, he's next in line to win his pro card at the heavyweights and that. Like, he was credible. So unless they're credible, you know.
Yeah. So even when you go down to the fucking, you know, to a GP or like to your doctor, whatever, I mean, you see those guys, they, you know, their credentials, it's on the fucking wall, you know. You know, they're fucking doctors. That's why you listen to the doctor. You didn't go down to the corner shop to get you know, to ask about why your shoulder's hurting.
Yeah.
So there's a very nice Arabic quote or a say.
Yeah.
It says, give your dough to the baker.
Yeah.
You know,
I get that.
As in give this, you know, give the you know, the raw material to the guy with the right craft.
Yeah. You
know, so it's very important, guys, that you just listen to that one person that you've obviously listened to. I mean, you'll get to choose that person once you've listened enough and made your own kind of little diary in your head. And then at that point, you'll be like, you know what, that's the guy I want to listen to. And you'll have a lot of people halfway through, let's say, a program that you're trying, and someone else comes over and goes, why are you doing this? This is all wrong. You know?
And that dude probably knows shit as well.
That's what I mean. Guys, you guys have to say, okay, it's fine. Continue. You look, especially as a beginner, anything works. Everything works.
Yeah. It's true. Pretty much everything does work, you know?
Yeah, just train hard and consistent and eat, you know?
If you want some other sort of, you know, other than some voodoo advice that I gave you, and you want some tangible advice, other than, and sort of on top of what you just said, I would just say learn to feel before anything. Learn to feel the muscle, learn to engage the muscle before you start trying to push weight on the bar, you know? And that's it. Keep that real short, sweet piece of advice.
I mean, we've seen a lot of pros, even in the 90s. If you're a 90s guy, if you're a today's era guy, you see a lot of the guys at some point in their career, they go back to basics. So they'll go back to compound movement. They go back to like a squat movement. They go back to a bench press. They go back to a deadlift. Excuse me. Not because things don't work for them. It's going back to basics is what that was a winning formula that gave them that structure to become who they are today. So they go back to those basics to just strengthen the structure again. You know, so it's a winning formula. If you why change a winning formula when you're still winning?
It's like having
it's a winning every day, guys. We're the only people in the world that can go into the gym and win every single day if you want to. You know.
Yeah, that's sound advice, man. It's like a business, you know. You have to have the infrastructure in place. The infrastructure in bodybuilding is your compound movements, you know.
Yeah.
Your compound lifts. If we're just talking about training, you know, it's your compound lifts. It's your diet. You have to have the infrastructure there, and then you can build around that. You just like experiment around that. But unless those main foundations are there, makes everything difficult.
I have a question for you.
Shoot. I love questions.
What do you think of Samson Dauda's posing?
Good. But I haven't seen him enough to give a really good to give really good feedback on this, because I've actually only ever seen him pose once. That was in person. That was at my qualifier in 2019, I think. And I thought he was awesome, but I thought it was a little bit unoriginal with kind of posing like Kai Green. Well, no, not that that's a bad thing, because we all copy things of someone, right? But what I'm going to say is, like, he was great at posing, but it's not like he was in phenomenal posing, because phenomenal posers have their own style, they have their own way, you know.
Yeah.
Like I say, I haven't seen him pose enough to probably give full feedback on that, but from what I saw, it was awesome. It's good, very entertaining. but it was a little bit more like dance than posing for me. But I mean, Kai Green is like that as well. Really, that's just kind of your taste. That's just my personal taste. That's just is what it is. But there was a lot of moves in there because I studied posing like a motherfucker back in the day, and it's kind of imprinted in my mind. There was a lot of Kai Green moves in there, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, fuck, Kai Green's a great poser. Why wouldn't you copy it? But I think he could be a phenomenal poser if he worked on it more and became had some original moves in there. You know, that were a little bit more just him.
Absolutely. I mean, I always say every single one of us has a little bit of influence from some guy.
100%. Yeah.
Even if you look at Kai Green, he probably had his I think his most muscular, the one hands behind the back.
Yeah.
That was influenced by Tom Platz.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I do Tom Platz as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that is Tom Platz there. You know, reading and writing right there. You know, 100%. So it's normal that we get influenced by someone down the line. But for me, I always put posing in. There are three kind of posers. Yeah. There's a guy who learns how to pose, does his compulsories and quarter turns.
Yeah.
And just does that.
Yeah.
And then once the routine comes, he just does like a couple of compulsories and leaves.
Yeah.
And there's a guy who hits his compulsories, but then does they hit the compulsories, but they don't have the how would I say that? There are some people can dance, some people can't. It's very simple. Yeah. And it's the same as posing. Some people can pose, and some people just don't get it. You know.
Yeah.
And they don't visualize it. So there are guys who think they pose well, and they make a mug out of themselves trying to pose. And then you have the guys who are actually artistic.
Yeah.
You know, for me, when I say the second ones where they make a mug out of themselves, I don't mean all of them, because some of them pull it off well. And I don't want to categorize anyone here, but going back to the question of Samson, I think he could be a better poser, putting his own influence on his posing, because he could influence other people.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to follow Kai Green for him to be a good poser, because he does know how to pose.
Yeah. 100%. He has the flow. It's then if you can take that flow and that natural rhythm and make it your own, add your own little twist on it. That's when you become a great poser. You know, that's what I tried to work on last year with myself. That's something that I'm hugely working on this year. You know, my next routine that's coming up, you know, I plan on it being something like real, you know. I want to be up there with the Terence Ruffins of the posers, because I know if somebody, or if I just looked at his routine, you know, that routine he'd done, that routine that he'd done, the one routine that I could do that routine exactly the way he could, you know. So I know I have that same rhythm if I just put my own spin on things, try and be original. So lately in my own training, I've been trying to just hit poses that are just completely different, just hit body shapes and move into poses that is completely different, that I could, in a way that I can call my own. It's really hard, man. It's really hard it's kind of like what Bruce Lee used to say. When it comes to, you know, martial arts and stuff, that's how they express themselves. And Bruce Lee talks about it being very, very hard to truly express yourself in martial arts. Like, just do what you want to do without being gimmicky or without copying somebody else. Just do the movement you want to do in martial arts. It's the exact same thing with posing, because we're influenced by so many posers. It's very, very hard to get to a point in your career. You know, I admire people that, you know, do it really well. I'm kind of getting it, but not truly mastered it yet. It's just hitting a pose that you want to pose, hitting a pose that you want to do because it feels good. It just feels right, and it's something that nobody else might have done before, you know. Or the way you move into a pose. It's really hard to do. It's something you have to practice, like day in, day out, you know, to move in a way that nobody else does. That's a hard craft to come by. Really hard.
I mean,
what makes a classic physique for me. If there is a difference between classic physique compares and open, it's posing.
Of course. I mean, we're all bodybuilders. It's what the little things that differentiate, you know, when it comes to trying to stand out is probably our posing.
Yeah.
But one person that I want everyone to go and watch, it's a girl actually. She's not a classic competitor or anything.
Should we get her up?
It's actually Oksana Grishina. She's a fitness competitor.
Okay.
And the reason why I mentioned her.
Do you know how to get her Instagram up?
Yeah, Oksana. So it's OK.
Okay.
Okay, SA. There you are. If you look at her routines.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can find her routines. Obviously, we probably can find it on YouTube. But even her facial expressions change. When she's
for sure.
When she's doing her routines, it's because she lives the moment of that posing. That's okay.
Should we play it with the sound?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's have a look, guys. This is a bit of it's not really a routine. She's practicing.
No, she this is what she does on a daily basis for her to be able to stay in that shape.
Yeah,
but if you look at her old, she's been retired for a little while now. But the reason why I mentioned that is because.
Should we play this?
Yeah.
It's boring. We ain't got time.
Yeah, but you need to go back into her posing routines.
Yeah.
The old posing routines on stage. You look at her facial expressions. You look at how she moves. It's like it's truly expressing herself.
Yeah, it looks like she does some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, but I think she stopped putting those stage ones for a while now. So it's gonna be quite a long scroll until we get to them.
Yeah, I can't find any stage ones.
But I'm probably guys just YouTube her, or she's done America's Got Talent as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The facial expression thing is huge. You really got to feel it.
This is what I'm trying to say. Like you have to feel the song, the track that you have, how it flows into you, what it means to you. And I'm sure that's the reason why she's like that. I think every single track that even John or myself, it's got some sort of story behind it.
Move you.
And that affected us or influenced us during that journey. And some tracks might sound good to you, but the minute you start posing to it, it's like, what? No, that doesn't go.
Feel right, yeah.
It doesn't feel good, doesn't feel right. So it's how much you can actually look. Everyone says you have to be a little bit crazy to become a bodybuilder, and this is part of the craziness we're talking about. Is you being an artist, you have to be a little bit cuckoo, for you to be able to get into that kind of.
I just think you have to be expressive. You have to be comfortable with expression. I help a lot of guys posing, man, and the biggest thing that they miss is just like being like loose with their body, like not being afraid. Sounds weird, but just to put your arm out there, like own your space, own your space during posing, and just be free to move however you want to move during posing. And when you get that and you just relax, that's, I think, when you can really start to develop some like the skills it requires to be a really good poser.
One of the things that I do when I run seminars, guys, John's gonna love that. I obviously have, like, let's say 6-7 people in a studio. So what I do for the first question, I'll be like, guys, I'm gonna introduce yourself one at a time, and I want you to show me how big is the area that you want to use to pose. So some of them go like 2 steps here, 2 steps here. Some of them just stand in one place, like that's my space right here. He just makes a circle around him.
Yeah.
And you get that guy that walks from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Of the whole studio room.
Yeah.
Says, all this is mine.
Yeah.
And that's the way you have to think when you're a poser.
Yeah.
The whole stage is yours.
Yeah, man.
Every single inch of that is yours when you're on there. There's no one next to you.
Yeah.
All yours.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
that's the only problem with it is when they only get 60 seconds in the amateurs. You know, there's only so much you can do, isn't there?
yeah.
That's the difficult. That's why I'm looking forward to doing my next routine with pro. I can have as long as I want.
Is it one track, right?
One track, yeah.
One full track.
Or it's at least a couple of minutes. I think it's one full track. So I'm excited. A lot of people ask me about, you know, how do you decide to pick what tune you're going to do and that. And it's kind of what you've already been over. It's like you have to feel it, you know. Every song I've done has a story behind it, has a meaning behind it. And then you go from there and you just try and, the way that I'll try and initially start to put my routines together, you know, I think we should talk about this because it's a pretty cool thing to talk about. The way I'll start is to just freestyle. I'll completely freestyle. I'll just kind of do whatever comes out of my body, you know. I'll just move to the music.
Yeah.
And then I might do some, and I might do that for the whole song, you know, and nothing might happen. And then I'll do it again, and I'll be like, oh, that was, you know, that was cool what I just did there. Don't even know what it was. And then I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, and I'll be like, that's a piece, you know. And I'll just put pieces together. I have a couple signature poses that I do that I know I want to get in there. My Michelangelo pose that Sammy helped me develop, my you know, rear double bicep, Arnie style, and that. So there's a few poses I want to get in there, and I might choose ahead of time that if I know what song I'm going to do, and there's a particular rise in the song, I'll be like, that's when I'm going to do that. And I might peek a few things in there beforehand, but everything else is just kind of technically freestyled, but in a style that, you know, I'll freestyle it, but then it will become part of the routine. So then it becomes like obviously a structure and I know what I'm doing. But the routine comes from freestyle, you know.
Of course.
From freestyle in the gym in between sets and stuff. The amount of stuff that were in my last couple routines that I was just freestyling in the gym in between sets because that's just what I enjoy. You know, I'll just do something. I'll be like, oh fuck, Sammy, look at this, and I'll be like, that was cool, you know, and then that goes in there.
And as your physique developed during the prep, you start finding more things that are more exciting. And the old stuff, you'll say, you know what, I don't want that anymore. Yeah. It looks better here with doing this. So I completely get it.
The lines change, don't they? And you're like, oh, this used to look shit. Now it looks pretty good.
Okay, one thing that we're gonna do now, I think before we wrap it up, I want you to scroll down my Instagram and have a look at my last posing routine.
Have you posted it?
Yeah, I think so, somewhere. And I'm gonna explain what happened here, and you tell me what you like and what you don't like.
How far do we go down?
We keep going. It'll be there somewhere. Because a lot of people haven't seen like transition.
This one? No.
No.
Is it on stage?
Yeah, it is on stage. Yeah.
How far do I go?
You'll find it somewhere. It won't be long.
7 days later. These are nice poses. I like them.
Oh, these were practicing from the 3 days before.
Is it near here? I see some comp pics.
Yeah, almost. Should be a video or.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like. You got loads of videos. Is it on stage?
Yeah, it is on stage.
The listeners on podcast.
Oh, there is.
Where are going to be screaming right now because they're like, I can't see it. Where? Oh, here.
That one. Yeah.
Okay. They're going to be like, I can't see this. Sorry, podcasters.
That last bit has a meaning.
That's good, man.
So basically,
That was good.
the end, as in the last bit when I did this. This is actually influenced by a friend of mine. Well, she's her name is Rosie Hart.
Yeah.
And she did that in a photo shoot, and I grabbed it from her.
Yeah.
And I actually dedicated it for her because I just liked the fact that it just stands like a spider, and it shows a lot of detail.
Yeah.
It was so quick. I did it very quick. I'm supposed to hold it a bit longer.
Yeah. It's a good routine, man. It was good. It's nice. Good routine.
It's a different style that I wanted to put in because I usually do a lot of most musculars and stuff because I used to compete as an under 90.
Yeah.
But then I realized when I looked at it again, that side wasn't actually supposed to come up a bit more.
Yeah.
To, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes you do that though, isn't it? You look back and you're like, didn't quite get this right, didn't quite get that right. But you'll be your biggest worst critic. A lot of people won't even notice that, you know.
What have you done more back shots, knowing that probably my back is probably the strongest body part?
It's difficult because the only problem with doing lots of back shots is like you're not really connecting with the crowd. You know, you kind of feel like it's great to, people love seeing a back shot. Spend too much time to the back though, and it's like, fucking turn around now, you know. So you have to do enough, not too much. It depends how much time you've got, man. You know, I wouldn't spend.
Seconds, man.
If you, yeah, you know, but let's say even if you had a whole song, you know, I wouldn't do it like 50-50, 50% to the front, 50% to the back. I'd say it would be like 30, maybe 40% to the back, the rest of the front, you know, to your side angles and stuff like that. I wouldn't be at the back too much. Because the back shot, not especially if you've got a good back, it's normally something you save and then you're like, bam, now here's the back, you know, and then you come back around. It's like, it's something you got to build up to. Depends what the song is as well.
So, am I going to see your new routine or?
No, I've actually decided that no one's going to see, because quite a few people saw my routine last year, before it went up. Not many, but more than I liked. And I think this year nobody's going to see it, not even Sammy. I want to do it completely by myself. So that's just something I want to do this year, because the song that I'm doing and where it correlates to some struggles I went through with my girlfriend, you know, I'm more than happy to say that. So it's kind of a lot more personal, and it is really personal to me. I'm gonna put a lot into it, you know, I'm gonna pour my heart into it. So, and that's what posing is for me. Some people say
I look forward to seeing that actually, and especially that I'm actually flying with you. So
yeah, man, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Also, little plug. We never plug, but I'm gonna plug. August the 8th, I'm doing a posing seminar. You should come along with me, brother.
I'm more than happy to, you know, be there. This is where is it?
Rayleigh, Stackhouse, Rayleigh. Stackhouse, Rayleigh, August 8th, which is a Saturday, 10 till 12, 2 hours. So there's only 4 spaces left. So if anyone wants to come, me and Faisal.
Guys, believe me, you will not regret that, because there are a lot of guys who can teach you posing, but there aren't many people who are that passionate about posing. I've spoken to pros, and they'll be like, "Dude, just pull off the compulsory ones. You're not getting marked down for posing." But then, for us, it's different.
Yeah,
so if you're looking to actually turn it into an art and enjoy yourself, it's all about enjoyment too, guys. It's your time there, you know. Go to this guy, you know, come over, trying to get into there.
That's your portfolio at the end of the prep to say, this is what I done, you know. That posing routine for me encapsulates the entire prep, and a prep is a long fucking time, you know. For some of us, it's half a year. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to put your everything into that final product, because in my mind, that's what I train for. You know, I know it's the same with you. You're training to put everything into that final product and
everything.
Other people, you know,
everything. I just hope that we've managed to convince a lot of them out there to start practicing posing.
Yeah. It's something that needs to be had a little bit more effort. Well, maybe not effort, more time. Needs to be prioritized a little bit more time spent on it.
Yeah.
A lot more time spent on it.
To whoever's listening and watching here, have you realized I've got hair now?
Yeah.
How quick is that?
Come through, man.
You see, the first episode, I had no hair.
You're Arabian. It grows fast.
And I tell you guys, one of the reasons that I still have hair is because I don't abuse shit like that. So I'm just telling you, follow me.
Oh, brother. It's been a good
episode.
Episode 10. Episode 10. Yeah, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap that shit up.
So, guys, we'll hopefully see you on the 8th for the posing routine. If not, we'll see you guys in Alicante in less than, 12 weeks?
13.
13 weeks.
12 this Sunday, so not 12,
yeah.
12 and a half.
So 12 weeks, we'll be there. I am most probably going to film everything when I'm there with John in his, in the room, backstage, hopefully. So let's hope we can make a little video for you guys to see how he prepares for his first pro show, his debut. And
it's all going to be on YouTube and starting 12 weeks
everything's going to be there on YouTube, guys. This is something that we never had that back in the day. We never saw shit. We just saw bodybuilders turn up on the day and the shows, and they look phenomenal, but we never knew what happens back, in the back, what do you call it? The scenes, So guys, stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, guys. Put a comment down there, and make sure you follow us on our social media and give us some love. And thank you very much, guys, again for watching. Until next time.
Peace.